Showbox appearance of unbeaten Robert Guerrero as he battles Gamaliel Diaz in a featherweight bout scheduled for 12 rounds. Nick Charles with Steve Farhood ringside and anxious to see Robert Guerrero in action again. Steve, anybody who's watched his progress on Showtime and Showbox knows no hype is necessary.
Right.
This guy's a major talent. But given that couple things you got to say, he's very young and he's still learning, putting layers to his game, and he's never faced adversity in the ring. So I ask you, what specifics would you like to see him improve on tonight?
Well, Nick, the kid obviously has a lot, but as you say, there's room for improvement. What I'd like to see, little things that could amount to bigger things when he fights tougher competition. Less reliance on his 1-2, his right and left. Show a little more imagination offensively. More body punching. Don't drop your hands when you're done punching. And those are just some of the smaller things that Guerrero needs to do, which when he fights for a world title will really benefit him.
Yeah, it's not a criticism by any means, it's an observation. This guy really looks like the goods. Robert Guerrero made it to the Olympic trials when he was only 16. Turned pro at 18. He's only 22, as we've said, but already a consensus top 10 featherweight. Showbox viewers got a first look at him last year when he took on fellow southpaw and former world champion Enrique Sanchez. Guerrero used his superior height, reach, and quickness to dominate the fight both from outside and in close. This was a significant step up in class. This was only Guerrero's 14th fight, and he laid a beating on Sanchez, whose corner called it quits after 8 rounds. Past April, Guerrero was the Showbox main event again against Adrian Valdez. That night, he used his jab to set up bigger shots, showed poise, patience, controlled the action virtually start to finish, scored a 12th round stoppage. Guerrero's most recent fight was here in September when he knocked out Samuel Ventura in 2 minutes and 5 seconds with that right hand and ran his record to 16-0-1 with 9 KOs. Take us behind the numbers, Steve.
Well, Nick, this is a green ghost. Guerrero's fought a total of only 67 rounds. Consider that the featherweight top 10 of the Ring magazine averages 261 rounds per man. Longer fights. Guerrero's 2 toughest fights, his Showbox wins over Sanchez and Valdez, were also his longest fights, 8 and 12 rounds respectively. And no judges needed. The Ghost has scored 8 of his last 9 wins by KO. Yes, he might be that good.
Gamaliel Diaz had a short amateur career in his native Mexico and turned pro in 1998. He lost 5 of his first 8 fights. He hasn't lost since, unbeaten in his last 18. He's not a typical Mexican slugger, but he's a boxer who says he has no fear of stepping up against Guerrero tonight because he knows what a win can mean for him, and he's loaded with self-belief. 24-year-old Gamaliel Diaz is 19-5-2 with 9 knockouts. Steve, what's behind those numbers?
Well, Nick, Diaz is lefty ready. His last fight was a win in Japan against Makoto Uehara, who's a southpaw. That's good preparation for this fight against the lefty Guerrero. He beat who? Diaz is undefeated, as you said, Nick, in his last 18, but he hasn't beaten any names you'd recognize. He's making a big jump up tonight. And distance Diaz. Diaz is used to going long. He's been 8 rounds or more 9 times to only twice for Guerrero. Advantage Diaz.
Robert Guerrero on a rapid ascent towards title contention. Gamaliel Diaz, who's in the biggest test and spotlight of his career. Let's meet them both as we go back to ring announcer Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the Tachi Palace Hotel and Casino here in Leemoore, California for the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Goose and Tudor Promotions in association with the Tachi Palace Hotel and Casino and Showtime. This bout coming your way is sanctioned by the NABF Supervisor Rudy Tellez, along with the California State Athletic Commission. Our judges scoring this bout from ringside, from Broomfield, Colorado, Ed Kugler. From Santa Clara, California, Marty Salmon. And from Richmond, California, Marshall Walker. Introducing to you our third man in the ring, our referee in charge of this bout, Dan Stell. All right, fans, here we go with the Showbox main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the NABF Featherweight Championship. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from Leemoore, California, it's showtime! Introducing to you first, the challenger on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing silver trunks with red and green trim. He weighed in at the featherweight limit of 126 pounds. His record, 19 wins, 5 losses, and 2 draws, with 9 wins coming by way of knockout. He is ranked the WBC number 7 featherweight contender in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, from Tacámbaro, Michoacán, Mexico, introducing Gamaliel Diaz. And his opponent across the ring on my left, the defending champion, fighting out of the red corner, entering the ring wearing brown trunks with gold trim. He weighed in at 125.5 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign to the ring with 16 wins, no losses, 1 technical draw, with 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, as one of boxing's outstanding young talents, he is ranked the WBC number 2 world featherweight contender. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the undefeated NABF featherweight champion from Gilroy, California, introducing Robert the Ghost Guerrero. Once again, a referee in charge, Dan Stell, now to give instructions.
What's up, gentlemen? The hip lines right here, these are good, okay? 12 rounds for the NBF title. Listen, obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves, come out the belt. Good luck to both of you.
You see these numbers are similar. Both fighters tall for this weight. Guerrero probably weighs as much as about 138 pounds right now.
Same rules as the first bout here in Leemoore, California. California rules apply. You can be saved by the bell in the last round. Referee or doctor can stop the fight. Dan Stella, referee. Gamaliel Diaz looking very confident in the silver, and in the maroon or brown, the southpaw, Robert Guerrero, who has looked razor sharp in his 2 showbox appearances. And if he looks that way against Steve, this may be the last we're going to see of him. He's about to graduate.
Yeah, graduation day.
Diaz not looking odd by any means. He's not the typical Mexican slugger. And it is strange that Guerrero said, I was terrible in that Sanchez fight. You're going to see a completely new guy. Look, it's very good to us. But here he is slipping shots, trying to create some opportunities, coming in nicely behind that jab, stinging Diaz with that left hand over the top. Diaz in the Mexican colors, actually in the silver, predominantly silver. Trying to read the southpaw. And Guerrero gets hit with a little jab, and Diaz trying to follow up in close. Looks a lot smaller, doesn't he, Steve?
He does, and the height and reach are very close. You know, Diaz throws very straight punches, and that's one of the reasons I thought this would be a good test for Guerrero, because Guerrero does too. So the difference is going to be hand speed and timing. And you see experience. Diaz been around a lot longer, and look at the rounds. Far more experience.
Well, he got hit there and tried to tie up unsuccessfully Robert Guerrero, but Guerrero taking his time. Real wide stance now. Sometimes he gives up his height, doesn't he, Steve, by fighting low?
Yeah, he always fights with a very wide stance. That's good for balance, not always good for power. If your feet are too far apart, you're not going to have much leverage, especially in your lead hand.
I'm also mildly impressed with Diaz's ability to beat Guerrero to the punch at times. I didn't think from watching him on film that he could do that. And now he comes up with a counter hook that just brushes Guerrero, but definitely he's gotten his attention. Guerrero trying a left to the body, winging shots is Diaz. Warned to keep his shots up, but he's definitely coming forward a lot more aggression this time. Final minute of round 1, and it's a good one. Gamaliel Diaz holding his own against the highly touted Robert Guerrero. Diaz has never seen Guerrero on tape and said he didn't need to.
Yeah, he wasn't very concerned. Hey, the guy's not going to be intimidated here. He's fought his last 2 fights in Japan. Hey, how many people were rooting for Diaz in those 2 fights?
Exactly. And he isn't intimidated. He really exuded a lot of confidence when he talked to him. Warned about hitting behind the head is Diaz. Guerrero taking his time. This is a very close round, Steve.
I agree. And Guerrero is in boxer mode. Diaz has been the aggressor.
Guerrero gets hit with a right just before the bell. Robert Guerrero trying to add layers to his game. Talked about what he wants to do tonight.
Nice deep breath. Okay. Okay. This is what I need for you to do.
I'm going to go out there and just start boxing, working my jab, start dictating the fight, really establish ring generalship, and just work off of that and feel him out, see what he has.
Just start using that jab. You start that.
Action from round 1. Very good round for Diaz. Hey, if he can out-jab Guerrero, as you saw he did right there, he's going to be in this fight, but he showed a lot of aggressive-ness. Let's see how Guerrero
Don't look
counters
to knock
that.
this guy with 1 or 2 shots. Take your time.
It was getting wild, that's why I'm just laying back.
Just lay back, use your jab, get that foot movement, and get comfortable.
It's strange he didn't seem comfortable in that first round, Stephen. You know, John Gray, it almost looked like he needed to light a fire, but he said relax. It's going to be a long one, perhaps, 12 rounds. But maybe at some point, it's very early, Guerrero gamble a little bit more. He's got to see, you know, how much Diaz has on his punches, how fast he is, and that's what you do. You obviously read a guy early. At least he watched tape.
Hey, Diaz, let's face it, he's a little bit of an X factor here. We really don't know a lot about this guy. We didn't see much tape on him.
I thought he'd be beaten to the punch from what I had seen, but he's a moving target, and he's hard to hit flush. And he hits Guerrero there, not with a lot on it. Guerrero was trying to slip it, but he did get hit with a right. It connected clean. Guerrero with a little sneaky counter right hand seemed to land, got the crowd roused. A lot of people down from Gilroy. A couple of busloads actually took the trip. Nice counter left from Guerrero as he spins away from danger beautifully. Diaz really came to fight. Didn't come for any payday. He is definitely there in Guerrero's face. A lot more aggressive than I figured.
Diaz been in with a couple of southpaws. Of course, the right-handed fighter Diaz wants to keep his lead left foot outside of the southpaw's lead foot. It gives him a better punching angle.
Diaz, a little bit of hot dogging instead of dropping his hand saying, come and get me. You're basically not showing me anything. And truly, Guerrero really has not landed flush.
And Nick, as far wide as Guerrero keeps his feet, look for these guys to be stepping on each other's feet all fight.
Diaz trying to pounce on Guerrero. Definitely got Guerrero rhythm a little off. Go with those low blows.
There they are. They almost tripped right there.
Bring him up. Let's go.
Diaz with a low blow and a warning from the referee, Dan Stell. Inside a minute, round 2. And Guerrero not listening to what Bray, or not giving Bray what he wanted, his trainer, the jab. He's taking his time and he's relaxed, but here comes the jab as he starts to snap it. Guerrero's trying to fight backing up now with full extension. Slips and reloads nicely.
Nice move. That's why he's nicknamed the Ghost.
Now his left hand is finding a home. But Diaz back, not abandoning the jab. I'd love to see that. But he is not being taken out of his game plan by this southpaw.
I don't think Guerrero's out jabbing Diaz, do you?
No, I don't. Diaz knows how to fight. And as you said, he was an unknown quantity here as we complete 2 in Leemoore, California. Crowd definitely behind Robert Guerrero, but Diaz is definitely hanging tough in this main event.
All right, now he's starting to get warmed up. I like that. Okay, listen to me. I need more jab, and I want you to start working the guy's body now. You understand me? Keep the hands nice and high, chins tight, nice movement, double, triple jabs, and start working the body. How you feel? Pressure with that jab. Start pressuring with that jab. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Keep those hands high. Start pressuring this guy with that jab. Start working the body.
Short, sweet instructions from John Bray, and we always like that, Steve. We're not trying to give his fighter too much.
Yeah, and I like the fact that Bray is so calm in the corner. Interesting that a former amateur heavyweight champion like Bray would have success training at featherweight. This, you know, what it takes to make it at heavyweight is really very different set of skills than what it takes to make it at featherweight.
Almost a different sport.
Yeah, that's right. There's heavyweight boxing and there's everything else.
Robert Guerrero looks like he's coming out here with more intensity in the third. Trying to read and react there. Nice left counter as Diaz failed to really pull the trigger, and Guerrero looked on the opening and pounced. Guerrero giving up any kind of height advantage here. He's just more comfortable that way. And here comes Diaz. He can box and he can brawl. I don't know what kind of a whack he has, Steve, but he definitely isn't afraid of this guy. And that's good for viewers. Makes for good fight. A little exchange there. They want Guerrero to work the body. We'll see.
Boy, Nick, since the first round, Guerrero's defense has improved a lot. Now it's just a question of whether he can incorporate offense into his game also.
The guess is, from what we've seen, he can. Guerrero's been 12 against Valdez on Showbox. He took on Enrique Sanchez on Showbox in 8. This is his third fight of the year. It was the longest training camp. He had 8 weeks.
Bring him up. Both of you, let's go.
They want the referee warning both guys about low blows or borderline. Sweeping right hook. Steve, he's really not turning over that right hand, Guerrero, is he, as you had talked about?
Yeah, his first punch in the fight was a good right hook. We haven't really seen it since.
Sweet over the top with the left hand is Guerrero. Minute to go in the third. Guerrero there, landing flush. Backs Diaz off.
Nick, these guys are stepping on each other's feet all the time. So when a punch lands, it's sometimes very hard to tell what the effect was.
What do you think of Diaz's movement? He really hasn't been hit clean there. A nice head movement. Hasn't been hit with a lot of clean shots, I should say. I think Guerrero's having a little bit of a tough time, Steve. He's certainly not in any jeopardy, and it's very early.
Bring him up, Robert. Bring him up.
Second warning from the referee to Guerrero on borderline blows. Finishing the third here in Leemoore, California, Robert Guerrero. Gamaliel Diaz, scheduled for 12.
Good job, gentlemen.
You're watching Showbox The New Generation as part of the Showtime free preview. Stay tuned for an exciting weekend, including Eminem from New York City tomorrow night at 9. Call 1-888-SHOWTIME and continue to enjoy the best in movies, original series, special events, and of course, boxing. which is what
go,
we're
let's go.
firmly fixed on here in Leemoore, California, as we head to the 4th round. Steve, how do you have it after 3?
I have a 2-1 Guerrero. I gave Diaz the first round and Guerrero the second and third. It's a fight, and geez, Diaz, I mean, this guy was once 3-5, Nick, as we've said, and he just doesn't fight like a guy. Well, he fights like a guy more who's won 18 in a row than a guy who was once 3-5.
Yeah, he's getting beat to the punch at times. He's not heavy-handed, but Steve, just watching his movement, he really has great lateral movement, and he's, I think, really taken Guerrero out of his flow. Not winning rounds, enough rounds early, but
Step back. Let's go.
because what else is it? What do you see in Guerrero that's not quite working?
I'd like to see his jab be more of a factor. It's starting to be.
He's just having trouble hitting this guy, and I think it's because he's on the move. Not on the run, but on the move. Now they play a waiting game. Guerrero in the brown and gold. Guerrero gets hit with a clubbing left hand and ties up Gamaliel Diaz.
Step back. Walk behind the back. Let's go.
Doesn't look like Diaz is much of a puncher from what we can see. Even when he connects flush, these are not hard shots.
Right. So he's got to outbox a guy who is definitely boxer
Both
puncher.
you guys. Listen up. Both you guys. Listen up. Bring them punches up, all right? Let's go. Let's go.
One of the things I called for, Nick, when you asked about improvements in Guerrero is more body punching and more diversity to his attack. I think he's showing both of those things. We haven't seen the right hook I was talking about, but he is working the body.
Now Guerrero stepping it up, closing ground, trying to trap Diaz unsuccessfully here. Diaz really moves well. Takes that one on the gloves and then ties up Guerrero and now slams him with a couple of shots to the body. Diaz only 24. He's the more experienced fighter. But again, most of his fights in Mexico. This is the United States debut, and he is unintimidated. Missing badly there.
Diaz is a lot quicker here than he looked on tape.
Absolutely.
I know that you made that point earlier, and it's really true.
Referee didn't see that one. That was low from Guerrero. Guerrero gets poked with a nice left hand, and Diaz trying to follow up. A little right hand that's flicked forward, but taken on the gloves partially. Good round for Diaz here, and he could put him even in the fight, unofficially on the cards. We close out the 4th. Diaz angry about that shot after the bell.
Don't lose your head. Don't lose your head. Let him. You gotta do whatever you gotta do. You already dominated him.
Exactamente. Listen up. I know, man. He's the one who did it.
You're doing a great fight. You're doing real well, real well. You gotta come in the inside with uppercuts. Real close. You gotta punch in. Nothing's gonna happen. Just go in and keep throwing punches inside.
Ya en ese momento empieza a ver
He's gasping for a lot of air.
¿Vale? Concentrado.
You will concentrate.
Ya el público se mete con él.
Got it even, Steven? What do you got?
I got it even, Steven.
That's it. I figured that.
38-38.
Steve, you read body language, your facial expression, and Diaz is just a very
Step back. Step back.
confident guy. We talked about self-belief, and he's convinced me. He's hanging with this guy now. It's a 12-rounder, but Guerrero's getting a handful here. Not being damaged, not being hurt, but he's not controlling this fight.
When they were on the inside right there, Nick, Guerrero's landing the harder shots, but Diaz has been very aggressive, and he's more the bull on the inside.
Let's go, box.
Guerrero trying not to smother the power inside.
Stop.
Diaz
Step back. Let's go.
tying him up.
Let's go. Box.
Diaz misses but keeps punching, so if he's not first, he could be last there. Landing a right, and there's another right to the ribs of Guerrero.
Stop! Step back. Let's go. Box.
Diaz does a nice job of turning also.
Absolutely right. Steve, it's strange that it's odd. Guerrero said never had a camp like
Bring
this.
him up.
8 full weeks, totally committed, great shape. And it doesn't look it. And attribute a lot of that to Diaz's style.
Well, right now, Diaz is the more aggressive guy when they're in close. He's roughing Guerrero up.
Diaz with a right as he keeps throwing. And that's been the key. He misses, but he lets his hands fly. So the right is landing. Guerrero missing with the point with the jab.
Listen up. Let's go. Stop! Stop! Step back. Step back. Let's go.
And that's an example, like you saw right there in that little segment. Diaz pushing, pulling, and Guerrero was just holding.
Here comes Guerrero working off the jab and having more success as a result.
No. Good.
But again, as you said, a little bit more than that 1-2. Be a little bit more creative. Little holding and hitting.
Listen up. Come here. I want both of you to start listening. No, listen. You understand me? Keep it clean. Let's go.
He doesn't understand. He doesn't understand English, Diaz, but nice left and then by Diaz and a follow-up by Guerrero. But it's strange I haven't seen Guerrero with more counter punches in a fight than this.
Stop! Step back. Let's go. Box.
Round zipping along. We're almost through 5. And a nice right hand from Diaz as he pushes Guerrero back at the bell. Close round to call, Steve.
Diaz's round, Nick.
Which puts him ahead on your card.
Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. I want you to take a deep breath. Listen to me. I need constant pressure with the double and triple jab. Listen, step in with it, okay? And you got to be right up on this guy. He comes in, rip the body, rip the body, rip the body, rip the body. Okay? Pressure him, push this guy back.
Action from round 5. It got a little chippy here. And if Guerrero was the one that got the break, Diaz is the one that got warned. That's happened with Guerrero before. Look at Diaz coming forward, but that was his round.
Starting to fade. Keep the pressure.
Boy, I don't see him starting to fade. Do you, Steve? John Bray just said that. Maybe a little bit of a pep talk, but I like his earlier advice. More pressure. Steve, he's got to hit Diaz with something solid, and he hasn't really all night.
That's true, Nick. Now that I think about it, as Guerrero landed one straight left hand that was flush.
And to make it official, you have Diaz ahead through 5.
Yeah, I have a 48-37 Diaz, 3 rounds to 2.
Well, official on your card, of course.
Yes, which doesn't count for much, as we know from the past on showbouts.
Guerrero pokes that left, or that right jab, eluding punches, trying to get the offense moving. Diaz swooping right. Again, he continues to look for openings and landing. Not necessarily first, but Guerrero not really punching now, so Diaz can take the lead, and he does there with a nice left jab. So impressed that he hasn't abandoned that punch against the left-hander. And it just seems that Guerrero's a step slow and a step off in this fight and out of sync. He certainly doesn't look bad, but he doesn't look as sharp as we're used to seeing him.
Yeah, that's a good point, and I think Diaz is a little better than we thought he'd be.
Diaz just moving so well again. That taken on the shoulders or the biceps by Guerrero. Just glancing blows, and Guerrero catches Diaz just walking in, not punching, with a good left hand. Let's see if he can turn over that hook, as we talked about, the right hook.
Well, right now, he's spending most of his time backtracking.
Step back.
Tough to get power when you're moving backward. This is, you can't ask for more in a bout between two prospects. Guerrero getting tested.
No question.
I mean, he's really getting tested, maybe much more so than we even thought.
Yeah, you don't have to get knocked out or driven back by any means or knocked down. You could just be outboxed, and Diaz is doing a great job.
Nice moves by the Ghost. He's not there to be hit.
He's excited the crowd, but they want to see some offense. Diaz tags him with a left as he continues to stalk and follow. Now Guerrero dialing in with the jab. He's really got to sting him with it, though, and stop Diaz a little bit in his tracks and follow up with a power punch. Diaz, the guy still moving forward.
Good left hand to the body by Guerrero. Right in the stomach.
Trying it again with the right jab.
Stop! Step back. Let's go. Okay, let's go.
I don't see Diaz getting tired at all, so no fatigue as we hit the halfway mark. The man in silver. And Guerrero gets the worst of that exchange, getting tagged on the tail end of it with a right hand by Diaz.
All right, let me tell you something. Put your hands down. I need for your hands to be right here. High and tight, baby. I need for you to be giving me double and triple jabs, working this guy back, and you got to rip the body. Don't headhunt. Rip that body, break this guy down, okay? You're doing a great job. You're slowly getting away from that. Let's get back to pushing this guy back with the double and triple jab and bang up the body. And then he's going to fold.
Trying, but this guy keeps janking on me.
Action from round 6. Well, who says you can't use a jab against the southpaw? Who says that? Nice shot by Diaz, straight left. And then Guerrero lands low there. And no warning from the referee.
Let's go, let's go.
Guerrero's corner, they want him to work off that jab, want more defense, and they want him to work the body, as you suggested, Steve. Here Guerrero trying to come in behind the jab, but Diaz just not there as he turns, just steps around, steps back, looking for openings, picks off those shots on the gloves. Now looking to counter. Guerrero fighting low again.
Look at Diaz trying to suck Guerrero in, waiting.
Now going after him. In a way that Adrian Valdez never did in the last fight. He was content to try to counter Guerrero all night.
Diaz, so much more experience going 7 or more. We're in the 7th round. And he does have 3 KOs, Diaz, in those 10 fights. So he can finish his opponent late. As can Guerrero. We saw that against both Sanchez and Valdez.
Steve, does Diaz really have to do a lot differently, let's face it, to win a decision coming out of Mexico here in California?
Well, that's a good question, Nick, because clearly this is a Guerrero crowd. And as the fight progresses, Guerrero's more in boxing mode now. It makes it a little harder to score the fight.
It really does. But bottom line, Diaz doing enough to certainly hang in this fight and be ahead in this fight, right?
Well, he's got to rally over the second half, for sure. He can't let it slip away. To win in the other guy's hometown, you have to win convincingly. Shouldn't be that way, but reality is that's the way it is.
Guerrero waiting now, trying to read the movements of Diaz, maybe trying to counter him so he's not first anymore with that jab. He'll start out that way in the rounds. There he is again, though, trying to pick it up off the jab. Really is a waiting game on both parts, but Diaz just keeps, again, it's the second and third shots that are landing for him. So he's doing a better follow-up job. Diaz a little wild now, lunging, but Guerrero didn't make him pay. Hit him with one counter there, smacked him with a left hand. Guerrero trying to control tempo, distance here. Past the halfway mark, scheduled for 12. Guerrero is unbeaten. Diaz is red hot. He's won 18 straight.
this fight, but Guerrero's doing a nice job boxing right now.
He is. Not much on the punches, but he's landing more this round. And there's Guerrero with a nice left in return as he avoids shots beautifully and countered with perfection.
Best punch of the fight right there for Robert the Ghost Guerrero.
Best moves there as we close out the 7th. Big. Guerrero needed that round, and he apparently got it.
Good job.
El tipo ya no quiere pelear.
The guy
Está
doesn't want to
buscando
fight
ya
anymore.
2, 3, 4
He's
golpes.
looking for a way out. Don't give him space. Don't give him space. You gotta don't give him space. If you give him rest, you let him get back in it.
Va el octavo.
It's the 8th round.
Es un peleador dominado. Se quiere tirar. Hazme caso, se quiere tirar.
He wants to fall down. Listen to me.
Está sintiendo la verga, la nariz. No hay nada, absolutamente nada.
This is action late in round 7. Guerrero, straight left hand with Diaz's right just a little bit down. Wasn't real low. Well, it kind of was real low now that I look at it a second time. And unfortunately for Guerrero, there was no time left. That was inside of 10 seconds. Couldn't be any follow-up.
Guerrero, they've got a little stare down here as referee Dan Stell gets him started here. Round number 8. Interesting, Steve, that Diaz's corner would say Guerrero's basically looking for an excuse to not quit, but I don't see anybody losing any conviction.
No, I think that's just the corner man trying to pump up his guy.
But also telling him, hey, don't get too aggressive or overly aggressive and get stupid. But I agree with you, Steve. Diaz has to really put together some offense to continue hanging in this fight and maybe squeaking past.
Well, Diaz has done his best work counterpunching, and because Guerrero is a little less anxious now and backing up, Diaz hasn't as many offensive opportunities.
Diaz just poked him with a nice right hand again. Seems to know when to squeeze that trigger. Not a high volume puncher, but he economizes very nicely. Here he comes after Guerrero. Guerrero sticks the jab out. He's missing with it. He gets hit with a left counter. But Diaz finding a home with that left. He squared up and moving in on Guerrero. Now Guerrero's in front of us against the ropes. Guerrero with a welt under his left eye. And Diaz revving up his attack a little bit. Diaz got a boatload of confidence, Steve.
He does. And he's been very cool and calm this whole fight, Nick. No changes in expression and very under control.
Absolutely. Steve, if reputation didn't precede either guy and this was in neutral territory, I defy anybody to say that Robert Guerrero was ahead in this.
It's a great point.
No.
Careful with the knee there, Diaz.
No, listen up. You understand me? Next one's gonna toss you a point. Let's go.
Next time he'll deduct the point was the word. Now it's infighting, but Guerrero gets his power smothered. See the welt there under his left eye again.
Bring him up.
Diaz with a straight right that landed. Guerrero with a low blow with the left. But Guerrero definitely frustrated here. He's just off his game. Little right from Diaz, nothing real serious, but he's shooting those punches and landing more than Guerrero is in this 8th. Steve, we get set for the corner. What do you tell Guerrero at this point? 4 to go.
Well, one thing you can't let him get is discouraged.
No, stop.
He's got to turn it up. He's got to show everybody why he's considered special. Sparring and in the ring, two very different things.
Tenemos gas para 20 rounds. ¿Cómo estamos?
Volviste a cometer el error, ya te querían quitar un punto, ya te dije que no pierdas la cabeza.
Come on, don't lose your head. I already told you.
Agua.
No pierdas la cabeza.
Don't lose your head.
Tienes que tirar más.
You gotta throw out more punches.
El golpe ese que le estás tirando. El golpe ese que le
You throwing outside punches, you got to throw them straight punches.
You got to be first.
Push him back, rough him up a little bit.
You got to dig deep, son. You got to dig deep. Constant pressure, and you're working from the bottom to the top.
Steve, certainly Guerrero's not in jeopardy, but we spoke before the fight that he's never dealt with adversity. He's had a dose of it here. His things aren't going his way. What about plan B, plan C that John Bray talked about?
Box.
Or just stay on that jab and continue to utilize the skills that took you this far?
Well, you know, he's a confident fighter. I don't think confidence is lacking in Guerrero. Whoa, he just got hit with a big right hand.
He needs adjustments, though.
He does, and his corner, Bray, said, you know, pressure, constant pressure. That's not the way Guerrero's been fighting the last 2-3 rounds.
Right.
Let's see if he changes and starts walking toward his man. He is. He's coming forward.
Diaz is happy to oblige.
Hey,
There's a late hit.
Let's go.
Crowd booing Guerrero, I believe, for that late hit. Nice body attack from Guerrero. Diaz is very tricky. The style that's making things difficult for Guerrero. Putting enough offense together.
Box.
And just
Keeping Guerrero off his rhythm. He's just off his game.
This is getting really dramatic, Nick, because this would be a big upset if Guerrero gets beat. I have him down 2 points right now with 4 to go.
He's coming out with more urgency here. So is Diaz. Sitting down in his punches a little bit here. Nice left counter from Guerrero. He doesn't follow up, but he got Diaz's attention and respect there as he backs off. Another left from Guerrero. An important round for Robert Guerrero. He hit Diaz low and then turned him around with that right hook.
Step back, step back. Here you go, Fox.
Right, Diaz just hanging that left out. Now Guerrero.
Stop! Step back, step back. No.
Accelerating his offense. Big round for him.
Yeah, it's Guerrero's round, no doubt, Nick. And it's interesting that it's his round when he's been coming forward. It's his first time coming forward in 2 or 3 rounds.
Back comes Diaz. Both of them move out and try again. Guerrero wraps with the jab. Back comes Diaz with an overhand right, but nothing flush is landing. Diaz short with his shots. Nice 1-2 from Guerrero. Another 1-2 counter from Guerrero.
It's funny, Nick, I said at the top, let's see some diversity. I don't want to see just 1-2s from Guerrero. Right now, that's what's working, though.
It's an exciting main event here in Leemoore, California, but much more in the way of excitement we hope here on Showtime Boxing.
I'm the best fighter in the super middleweight division.
I want to unify them belts.
Yeah, I want a unification fight.
Joe, I'm coming to get you, baby.
Now, the talk is over. Undefeated champion Joe Calzaghe versus undefeated champion Jeff Lacey. Coming in March, only on Showtime.
If he gets on the inside, he wants to get rough. You got to get rough right with him. You understand me? Are you a warrior? Show me that. Let's go, son. He's yours.
Seconds out.
He's yours. Take it.
That's perfectly put. Man, they're ready to go. And Guerrero looks
His box.
even more ready. Will he turn it up a notch? Diaz really doing very little different. He's been consistently frustrating Guerrero most of the night. Guerrero made those adjustments, Steve, as you mentioned, coming a little bit more forward in the 9th round and supposedly winning it. Guerrero's bruised under both eyes now.
I liked what Gray said to Guerrero in the corner. Are you a warrior? Show me. That's what he needs. You know, there comes a time in a fight sometimes where skills become secondary to will.
No, stop! Let's go. Let go of the arms.
Well, it's like you've always said, this goes 12. This is like 12 mini fights, and that's how a judge has to look at it. And that's good, because if you look at the welts under Guerrero's eyes, you'd say, hey, this guy's getting the worst of it. But the scorecards are already in the books after each round, of course. But it is very close. That's a safe assumption.
I would think so. I have Diaz.
There's no safe assumptions. I modify that.
We know better after all these years, right?
There's the 1-2 from Guerrero. He slips nicely, comes up short with that left, and then stands around and sort of admiring his work and gets poked with a left from Diaz. So Guerrero definitely hitting a little bit harder. He's really got to start stinging this guy, though, I would think, Steve. Hit him with something more solid and take him off his game, because Diaz continues to move, restart, reload, and
Step back. The spots.
do enough to hang in just about every round. And win plenty of them, it would seem.
There's definitely a headbutt there. Less forward motion from Guerrero this round than in the night.
Good point.
Don't push.
Diaz very composed. There's a little bit of head movement, making Guerrero be short. And there he is, just slipping those punches by his quickness. Look at, he hadn't been hit in about 10, 12 attempts from Guerrero.
Stop! Step back, gentlemen.
But is
Step
Diaz
back.
doing
Here we
enough
go.
offensively? Solid movement from Diaz, but not much punching. Guerrero bangs with a left that got Diaz's attention. Little baby right hand from Diaz back. He probes to the belly of Guerrero.
Stop! Step back. Box.
Close round then.
And I'm going to ask you how you...
I know you're asking me. I'm thinking already.
All right, I'll give you a little time.
Stop!
After 10.
All right, this is where we're at, okay? You need a knockout to win. Look at me. I'm telling you what time it is. You know what I suggest? Remember those power drills? That constant pressure with the jab and just ripping 6 off real hard shots? I need that for 2 rounds. Robert, you gotta be first, you got pressure. Listen, there's no more time. You need a knockout. Okay. You gotta be first, you're right. Take a big breath. Keep your hands.
Action from round 10. If you can't hit a man with your fist, hit him with your head. You see their heads come together. Guerrero seemed to have gotten the worst of it, judging by the post-butt reaction.
You ready to be champion? Come on. Come on, let's go, let's go.
Diaz in his United States debut has been impressive. Certainly not overwhelming, perhaps not winning this fight, but hanging tough with a big prospect. And that could have hurt Diaz. Nice left hand from Guerrero. Actually, it didn't seem to. And Diaz trying to tie up Guerrero at times, but now he's back in rhythm, trying to work off the jab. Now Guerrero opening up, and how interesting, Steve. Talk about heightened drama. John Bray says you need a KO to win to Robert Guerrero.
And I agree. I have Diaz ahead 2 points with 2 rounds to go.
Wow.
Stop! No. The
Point is, Guerrero's got to gamble a little bit. Diaz isn't hurting him. He's not running into some kind of shots that are really stonewalling him. So he's really got to go for it, as they said. Put 6 punches together, easier said than done here in the 11th heat. Guerrero has been 12 before. We know Diaz has repeatedly. He's got more experience. Diaz 12 one time, actually. He has figured out how to fight this southpaw well and neutralize
off the back of the head. Let's go.
a lot of what Guerrero's done best.
Guerrero's fighting angry right now, and he's effective doing it. It's like Diaz took something from him, and I think what Diaz might be taking from him is his reputation.
Here we go.
is a gut check for Robert Guerrero.
Let's go, gentlemen. Spots.
He hasn't been pushed around, but he's getting outboxed in several of these rounds. He's bruised under both eyes.
Let go. Here we go. Here we go. Let go.
Diaz
Let go.
very slippery, but thinking defense more now than he is offense.
Bad idea, huh? Oh, holding and hitting
Stop.
right here.
You got box. Go home. Let's go.
I wouldn't blame Diaz for that.
Wow, he said this is the best round in quite a while, Nick.
Both guys firing out of the clinches.
Last time on Showbox, we saw Americo Santos get beat. He was undefeated. Is it happening again? You get matched tough on Showbox. We didn't know how tough Diaz was.
Oh, not at all.
Stop. Stop. Here we go. Box. Stop. Here we go.
Guerrero unable to really find the target.
No.
Moving all the time, Diaz.
Just box.
But is he doing enough offensively? Little right hand pops Guerrero. Just gets him off his wheels. You know, it makes him have to restart like that. As precious seconds slice off the clock. We close in on one round to go here in Leemoore, California.
Good round for Guerrero. Diaz spent too much time killing time this round, holding, playing defense. Guerrero's round.
Which would pull him to within a point on my
Here we
card.
go. Box. Time. Good job, gentlemen.
Diaz walks back looking unfazed. Let's hear it.
You got 3 minutes to get this guy out of there. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
I want you to give me power drills for 3 minutes. You understand what I'm saying? Nice deep breath.
You gotta do everything that you can. Everything right here. But to cheer me.
Es de huevos, pero te nuevo.
Come on, you gotta come on. You gotta throw all the punches.
Listen. Listen, I'm telling you. Listen, keep it.
Do whatever you have to do. You gotta win this round. You gotta win the round.
Be right up on him. Wherever he goes, be right up on him and let your hands go. Let's do this.
Good job, gentlemen.
I like what Moro Ayala said, basically, hey, you got to do whatever you got to do. Why throw 15 things at Gamaliel Diaz? Whatever it takes is obviously the dual message here. They know it is close. We know it should be able to go either way.
Boy, a lot of energy from both guys here because they understand the urgency and what's at stake here with 3 minutes to go. I'll tell you, Nick, maybe Guerrero will become the fighter we think he can. Maybe he won't. But if he does become a world champion someday, we'll point to this fight as the fight where he became a real fighter, a real 10, 12-round fighter.
And maybe this particular round.
Let's go. Stop! Watch them hands. Let's go. Start boxing. Let's go.
Let the fury overcome some of the fatigue that's starting to look apparent. Right hand from Diaz.
Stop! Here we go. Here we go. I got you. No. Stop. Let's go. Come on, get up.
Get up. A little bit of exhaustion there.
Sure. Well, it's been a very physical round as well as a fast-paced round. But in the 12th, Guerrero's been aggressive and Diaz has matched that aggressiveness.
Let's go.
Guerrero thought that was a low blow. He's basically stopped punching now as he gets stopped by a right hand from Diaz. Now Guerrero looks angry. But in close, he's smothering some of his power. Diaz is trying to mug him.
No.
Guerrero landed that shot.
Look on the arm. Stop. Here we go. Let go of
Robert
his arm.
Guerrero's unbeaten record is in jeopardy here. Let's watch the final 45 seconds.
Stop! Step back. Here we go, box. No. No. Time. One point.
Oh boy. This could be the difference.
Gotta stay off his head.
A point deducted from Gamaliel Diaz for hitting behind the head.
I don't love the call. Did he hit him behind the head? Yes. Should he have been penalized?
Wasn't that blatant? I don't think it deserved the penalty. It sure revved up Guerrero. Let's watch the last 10 seconds. That saved Robert Guerrero's unbeaten record in my book, but perhaps a draw, who knows? It's a tough one. Both corners feeling they pulled it out. What else can they really say? It's out of their hands now, out of their fists. Three judges have made up their minds. Robert Guerrero in the fight of his young professional career. Did he do enough to stay unbeaten? Gamaliel Diaz came here undaunted and looked that way the entire fight. And naturally they would boo him as the invader. I thought he fought with every bit of skill he had. And I thought his skills were limited, but I thought he utilized everything, Steve.
And credit Guerrero.
I thought that you were early on, you were measuring and not close enough.
That's Shelly Finkel, Guerrero's co-manager.
Yeah, they had other fish to fry, they thought. Talking about no more tune-ups. Let's see if he could get out of here with a win. Probably that point deduction, not probably, it could be the difference in this fight, Steve.
Yeah, it is on my card. I think this is a very close fight. Here's the point deduction for a punch behind the head. Guerrero bent over there. I just feel that at that point in the fight, given how chippy they were on the inside, it was a little unfair for the referee to take a point away.
And part of it was frustration. Guerrero had Diaz's left arm wrapped up, so he was trying to free himself and punch with his only free hand. No excuses there, though. It was a debatable call. I'd hate to have it be the difference in the fight.
Yeah, I agree. The only, there it is again, and that's critical. The only score I would have a problem with by the judges is one that's one-sided. You know, a point or two either way for these guys, I had no problem with.
But that would bother me as well. Did Robert Guerrero get ahead of himself? You know, talking about title fights next year. I'm talking major, ready to Juan Manuel Marquez or Humberto Soto or Injin Chi. Was he ready for Gamaliel Diaz, this man?
One guy had a rep coming into the fight, the other didn't. Shows you what reps are worth.
And now they shake hands. Both knew they were in a fight that could go either way. Wait is over. Jimmy Lennon Jr. has the winner now.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of action, we go to the scorecards. We have a split decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Marty Salmon scores the bout 114 to 113 in favor of Gamaliel Diaz. Judge at ringside, Ed Kugler scores the bout 115 to 112 in favor of Robert Guerrero. Judge at ringside, Marshall Walker scores the bout 115 to 112 in favor of the winner, and the new NABF Featherweight champion, Gamaliel Diaz.
Wow, dreams really do die hard. And it happened virtually for Robert Guerrero in his backyard. Robert Guerrero said he had prepared better for this fight than all of his others. Gets shot down with a split decision loss to this guy, Gamaliel Diaz. Good sportsmanship on both sides, but Diaz comes here and steals the show, surviving the point deduction. Guerrero saying, basically, I don't know what happened. Diaz does.
Nick, a couple of quick observations. One, the point deduction did not affect the outcome of the fight, which is good. Two, second big upset of an undefeated fighter in 2 show boxes. We saw Americo Santos get beat by Martez Logan last show. And 3, that's 3 young featherweights going down in the last few weeks. Steve Luevino, who was undefeated, lost. Rocky Juarez, the Olympian, lost. And now Robert Guerrero loses. Who's going to be the last man standing of these American featherweights?
Well, you know, it's the whole idea behind this show. You match people tough.
But we have to be honest, we had no idea that Diaz was this tough.
No. And, you know, it's a question of that's it, Steve, tough. Dangerous, no, but the ability to take this guy, Guerrero, out of his game, to take control of this fight at the right time, he absolutely did it. He had the style to beat Guerrero, as Mauro Ayala, his trainer, indicated. And that was smarts. He fought with so much smarts. He just was never a guy to get hit very flush. He proved that he could box, brawl in terms of knowing when to hold, when to hit, and he fought with so much confidence, just impervious to this crowd. He was absolutely locked in on what he had to do.
That was a big factor, Nick. Fighting in Japan helped him. The fact that the last 4 times he fought, he went 8 or more rounds helped him. He was ready for this challenge. And then, you know, Guerrero's people were weary of this fight because they knew that this guy was undefeated in his last 18. And
there's the evidence, Steve.
Yeah.
It's called black eyes, the price you pay when you get hit more than you hit, and that's obviously